welcome back. So last night I decided to drive up to the Passo Stelvio, as in theory today and tomorrow it's good weather, and tomorrow being the only day of the week was actually getting above freezing up here, so if I'm going to get out on my road bike at all, it's going to be tomorrow, so it made sense to get up here now. It's currently 6:45, I've had my breakfast, done all my faff again, and it's still -3. And before you ask, no, I don't have any heating in my van, and I forgot my big winter down sleeping bag as well, so I had to triple bag it last night. A thin summer sleeping bag, thin summer duvet, and a blanket. Just about survived. The door of my van was frozen solid this morning when I tried to get out. I had to properly give it a shoulder barge to get out, so yeah, it's really, really cold up here. But in theory, should be some lovely snow. Just going to try and suss out the lift ticket situation before I put my boots on. We're at 2,700 metres here, and as you can see, there's already loads of snow. No sign yet of the good visibility though, but fingers crossed this fog clears as soon as the sun comes up. So the ticket desk is inside the building, which is currently still locked up, so I just have to put my boots on, stand in the queue and suffer for a bit. But I don't know which queue to join because there's only 2 queues and they're different categories of race training, so it's a bit disconcerting. I hope I'm actually allowed up there. Trying to get cold, slightly damp ski boots on is one of the hardest things known to man, especially when what you're standing on is ice. The sun's just starting to come up and the fog's lifting already, so that's a good sign. The first cabin's just gone up as well, so time to start moving and see what happens. This is more like it, both in terms of the weather and the ski area, and of course the snow. The snow is phenomenal today. In theory, this is Europe's biggest glacier ski resort with over 25 kilometers of piste. In practice, there's not actually quite that much. There's still a lot, but that includes the home run, which is virtually never open these days and it's not on the glacier, and the lower glacier, which is also very rarely open and it's basically just to get down at the end of the day. There's no, well, you can take the cable car up and down, but there's no drag lifts on that part of the glacier, so yeah. It still is quite limited, especially at this time of year. There's only these 2 pommers running, accessing these runs up here, which are of course mostly monopolised by the ski racers yet again. But of course, at the end of the day, you can ski all the way back down, a lot of the way on groomed, if not open pistes. And this was something a little bit different. At the moment, access up to the upper glacier is via snowcat. They're rebuilding the pommers, which would have taken you from the top of the cable car up to here, in theory anyway. Although there's not any evidence of any progress at the moment, they've not done anything this summer, but yeah. I got to take a ride in the back of a snowcat, which is kind of cool. It's not something you get to do in Europe very often. Just to remind you that you are on a glacier here, even the Pommern Rut Track has got a crevasse in it right now. Snow here today is absolutely phenomenal. with 99% of the people here only here to race train, I've got all this powder virtually to myself. The only slight downside is nothing's very steep here. They're all blue pistes, so it's pretty hard to get any speed up to really enjoy the powder. But even so, I can't complain. It's September, I'm skiing totally untracked, deep, soft powder. This is sublime. My lift ticket was €64 today. On the website they say it's 58, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've charged me insurance by default as well. Probably charged me for the plastic card again as well, even though I've got 20 or 30 of them, which I could have recharged if they've asked. But yeah, even so, the parking's free, and as far as I can tell, it's unlimited free parking as well. So there's no camper van stress, unlike yesterday. So I had a much better night's sleep as well last night. And even at €64, it's still slightly cheaper here than it was at Valsenala's yesterday, and it's vastly bigger. It's so much better ski area, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the lifts might actually be open until 5 today. One of the signs in the lift stations said it last lift is at 5, which I'll be amazed if that is the case, because on the website again it says 12:30, but maybe they've been proactive. The fact that it's basically winter up here, there's really no need to shut at lunchtime because it's about -8. The pistes aren't going to become in danger of opening up crevasses, so fingers crossed it is open until 5, or at the very least until later in the afternoon, because otherwise we're wasting most of my day standing in these queues. They really need to get some T-bars up here because these Pumas are really slow. This run down to the mid-station's actually worthwhile. The best thing about it is there's absolutely no queue at all for the cable car here. Granted, probably have to wait a little bit because I'm the only one here, but yeah, might like that again. Of course the powder's not as good down here as it was higher up, but beautiful carving on the piece still. Okay, maybe skiing down wasn't the best idea because there's now no shuttle to get back up from down there. So I've no idea how long I have to wait here to get a lift up again. So it's gone 12:30 and the lifts are still spinning. Most of the ski race kids have now gone down, they've taken a lot of the slalom gates down, but there's still plenty of people up here, so I'm just going to keep skiing until they tell me to stop, or I get too hungry, whichever comes first. I didn't bring any lunch with me because I thought I'd be down by lunchtime, but yeah, I'm certainly not going to stop skiing while there's still skiing to be had. I kind of wish I brought my touring stuff with me so I could put some lines down that absolutely sweet looking face, but then the whole reason I've driven 1,000 kilometers to be here is to ski with the lifts. I can tour in Chamonix, so yeah. I'm here to make the most of the uplift, so that's what I'm going to do. So it's about 20 past 1 now, and they've just started taking the netting down from the bottom of the lift, so I'm guessing they're maybe shutting at 1:30. So they've extended it by an hour, which isn't too bad, but like I say, I'll keep skiing and see what happens. Hopefully I can get at least 1 or 2 more runs in. It's lovely up here now, virtually all the crowds have gone. And we're still going. This is class. But my feet are really starting to kill me now. I've been skiing virtually non-stop for over 6 hours. I was skis on snow about 7:30 this morning, and yeah, my feet just aren't used to it this time of year, so I'm in absolute agony. But I'll keep going for now at least. My stubbornness is outweighing my pain at the moment, but yeah, not sure how much longer I'll be able to keep going before having to give up and brace my feet. That's it, 2 past 2, and I'm literally the last man standing, other than a couple of ski tours over there, which have been waved off the hill, so heading up the lift one last time, and I've got the long ski back down to the lift now, potentially even the home run, we shall see. So that's the top of the second cable car up there. Next to that monstrosity of an old hotel, which looks very, very closed. So yeah, you get 2 cable cars up to here, and from there ski down a little bit and take the snowcats across up to the 2 Pumas that I've been lapping all day. So those diplomas are kind of over that next rise. You can't really see it from here. That piece down from there is open. You could ski it, but as I found out earlier, the shuttles later on in the day weren't very regular to take you back up again. To the left up there, those pieces were open but reserved, private. So that's where, in theory, the new T-bar should be, which it isn't there yet, and there's absolutely no sign of them building it either. So again, those pieces were being operated by snowcat shuttles, but I was told privato when I tried to ski down there, so unfortunately couldn't really enjoy those much. From here, still got this lovely beautiful groomer down. So this is the lower glacier now, which again, it's just got one run on it and it is open. But this will take you to the mid station, as it were, the top of the first cable car. So that's where I'm going to head now. I think I'm going to attempt the home run. I'm certainly going to have to walk for some bits of it, but the track's going down, so people have clearly got some of the way down at least. The snow, of course, does go all the way down to the car park, but it's very, very thin, and with the sun being out on it all day, it's going to have melted in places. Let's see how this goes. Made it. Back at the car park, without taking my skis off. It wasn't pretty, sure, but I love a good combat skiing challenge. My skis have definitely taken a few little dings, but hopefully nothing terminal. And yeah, what a good way to end the day. Stelvio Pass is an absolutely spectacular road in both directions, but the complex itself is seriously ugly. At least half these hotels are derelict from what I can tell, both here and even more so up on the mountain. Clearly back in its heyday it used to be much busier, much bigger ski area. Now it's very run down, very, well, decrepit really, but still, the skiing is pretty good. So apparently the front line during World War I between the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Italians ran pretty much straight through the pass here. Not surprising really, but in theory you're supposed to be able to see the trenches somewhere still. I'm not entirely sure where, and unfortunately for me the sign is either in German or Italian, and I understand neither. If it was in French I'd be able to have a stab at it, but there's obviously no reason why for it to be in French. But yeah, can you imagine trying to fight a war up here, how inhospitable it would have been? Nearly 3,000 metres. Wow, I found one of the gun emplacements at least. This wasn't hard to find. Can you imagine being stationed up here? Having to keep guard over that. Here we are, this sign is in English and French for what it's worth, and Magyar, whatever that is, never heard of it, but it looks kind of Slavic maybe, as well as obviously the other local languages. So it turns out it wasn't just the Austro-Hungarians and the Italians who were stationed here, but also the Swiss had a presence during World War I here as well. So the border of all three countries at the time met around about here. And even though the Swiss were neutral, they had to station troops here to maintain the neutrality and make sure no one basically transgressed. So there's a lot more information there. Turns out Magyar, which I'm more certainly pronouncing wrong, is Hungarian, which kind of makes sense. This is about the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I have been wondering why South Tyrol was in Italy, despite the fact that many people still speak German and the culture is very Germanic. Turns out it was basically given to Italy as a reward for joining the Triple Entente, i.e. the French, British allies during the First World War, rather than remaining neutral or indeed staying allied to the Austro-Hungarians and the Germans as they were to begin with. So yeah, that's why. So there we go, all the way down there. Don't know if the GoPro is good enough to pick it out or not, but that there I think is the Ortlier Pass or something along those lines. But that is now the border between Switzerland and Italy. Switzerland on the right, Italy on the left. But you can very, very definitively see a line of bunkers or trenches or whatever basically going up that ridge line directly away from me. So that must be remnants of the World War I trenches, or possibly bomb holes from the artillery. So I'm now stood in Switzerland. The Swiss border runs from the Col way down there up this snowy ridgeline behind me, I believe, up to the fort on the top of the hill just there. Then from there basically straight towards me here, on upwards along the ridgeline over there. Everything on the other side of that now is Italy, but at the time of the First World War, everything that side, South Tyrol, that was Austria, and then that side was Italy. And like I say, where the fort is now, that was a triple point between the three countries. One of the few, or indeed possibly perhaps the only Swiss soldier to have died during the First World War was killed while stationed here, caught in the crossfire between the Austrians and the Italians. and it obviously caused a diplomatic shitstorm basically. It very nearly brought Switzerland into the war, so yeah, a very important act of history very nearly happened here. So there you are, a little bit of history, and I guess geographical history for you as well. Every day's a school day. I'm feeling a little bit of a dilemma. Do I stick to my plan tomorrow and cycle up that absolutely stunning piece of road, or do I ski again? Realistically speaking, looking at the forecast at the moment, tomorrow is my only chance to go out on my road bike. The temperatures are plummeting again after that. But also, tomorrow is the best day of the week remaining to go skiing as well. So, decisions. Whilst I was out there skiing earlier, I was adamant I wanted to ski again because it was lovely up there. Now that I'm back down here and I've seen the road for the first time, I'm swaying towards getting out on the bike because, like I say, that is absolutely spectacular. Plus, this is possibly my only chance to ever cycle the Passo Stelvio. I don't know if I'll ever be coming back this way again, whereas I'll be skiing virtually every day throughout the winter in a couple of months' time, so at the moment I'm swaying towards getting on the bike, but we shall see how I feel after I've had pizza and a beer. That's more like it. Italian pizza at Italian prices.